Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. This is a 5-minute review of White House Down from 2013. The film is directed by Roland Emmerich, who's famous for many of the big blockbuster films from the summer, things like Godzilla, Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow and things like that. And the film stars Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx in the two lead roles. In addition, the film has quite an all-star cast with the likes of Maggie Gyllenhaal, Richard Jenkins and James Woods, plus the rising star who's been coming up for a while, Jason Clarke. In another episode we discussed Olympus Has Fallen, and this film came out around the same time. Having watched both of these films now, and also the parallels to a number of other films, I actually think that White House Down is better than Olympus. However, it borrows an awful lot from Die Hard. Ignoring the obvious differences between one attack on the building high-rise and the other attacking the White House, there are a lot of things you can draw direct parallels between. The fact that you've got a guy running around in a white vest, which was made famous by Bruce Willis. The humour is very much the same. The villains are coming in and they're highly trained compared to the people in there. There's an insider who turns on people, and it goes on and on and on. This is almost like somebody watched Die Hard, thought about it, and 10 years later wanted to up the ante by making it on the most important building in America, and instead of a high-rise they went for the White House. Even with all of that being said, the film is just an awful lot of fun. There's a nice balance between character development and humour, and some of it isn't too over the top like you had in Die Hard. The villains feel rounded and actually have a purpose. They're not just out to kill people just because. The thief angle that you had in Die Hard has a slight twist in this aspect, so although they appear to be there for the money, there's something else going on. Jamie Foxx playing the president is quite an unusual role because in some ways you can see he's mirroring Obama. Channing Tatum plays Cale, a concerned father who's a former military man that's trying to get into the Secret Service, and he's currently serving as the Capitol Police. So there again, he's someone with inbuilt skills. He isn't someone who's just wandered in off the street who suddenly tackles all of the terrorists. By the same token, he doesn't go at them head on. His primary goal is to protect his daughter and to look after her, whilst also trying to protect the life of the president. There's this strange parallel where the larger story is, what do the terrorists want in the White House, what are they up to, and then you've got a very small and personal story where Cale just wants to find his daughter and get her out of the White House, but also he's torn by his obligation to the president, who is now completely in his hands because everyone else has been incapacitated. The film has a 2-hour-plus runtime, but it never feels like it lags. I watched it through in one sitting and was surprised by how fast it flew by. That isn't to say the action is completely relentless. It does have peaks and troughs, but it seems to work and the pace just keeps going. Some of the parallels between this and Die Hard did start to get on my nerves a bit. In the original, in Die Hard, you have Theo, who's the hacker genius, and he seems to be really clever and funny and witty and has little quirks. In this, you've got Jimmy Simpson, who's playing the super hacker. And there again, he has to have classical music, and he has to have his candy, and he has to have all these little things. And it just started to annoy me after a while. It is almost like they've done a facsimile of Die Hard and then just changed some of the words to create this film. So most of the time it didn't bug me, but every now and then it got on my nerves. There were some cool aspects to this film, something to do with the age of the White House and some of the mythology surrounding it, which they said, oh, it's just nonsense, and later on they confirmed. There were some nice side characters as well, not just some of the terrorists who actually got some time and space, but there's the tour guide for the White House who gets more to do, and there again it kind of parallels the driver in Die Hard, who has some funny but key moments, and this is reflected in White House Down 2. Olympus Has Fallen came out in March 2013, a few months ahead of White House Down. It had a budget of $70 million and it made $170 on the worldwide, versus White House Down, which had twice that, on the budget of $150 million, and yet it only made $205 worldwide. So I don't know whether audiences were just feeling fatigue from already seeing one film attacking the White House and the resulting adventures, or maybe they just preferred Gerard Butler in the lead in Olympus Has Fallen, which has now gone on to spawn 2 sequels compared to White House Down, which hasn't had any sequels at all. In general, the film was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. There's some aspects I wasn't keen on. There's some of the annoying things that were blatantly just copies from Die Hard that didn't even work very hard to try and cover them up. So, for those reasons, I'm going to give it 4 bags out of 5. It's definitely worth your time. It's a good blockbuster bit of fun. So, have you seen White House Down? If so, get in touch and let us know. You can email us, you can come onto the Facebook group, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.